On the morning of December 1st, 1948, a man was found lying on Somerton Beach in Adelaide, Australia. He was well dressed. He appeared to be sleeping. Several people walked past him during the evening before and assumed he was drunk. By morning, he had not moved. He was dead. Nobody knew who he was. Nobody reported him missing. And 75 years later, nobody still knows his name. The man was well built, between 40 and 45 years old. He was wearing a suit and a tie. His shoes were polished. His clothes were of high quality. All the labels had been removed from every single item of clothing he wore. Every label, deliberately removed. He carried no wallet, no identification, no keys. Nothing that could tell investigators who he was or where he had come from. A suitcase was found at Adelaide railway station that appeared to belong to him. The labels had been removed from the suitcase as well. Inside were clothes, a knife, a stenciling brush, a reel of orange waxed thread of a type not available in Australia, and nothing else. No name, no address, no way to identify the owner. The autopsy found no cause of death, no signs of violence, no signs of drowning, no identifiable poison in his system using the testing methods available in 1948. The pathologist noted that the man appeared to be in excellent physical condition. His calf muscles were of an unusual development, consistent with someone who had spent a great deal of time dancing or doing another activity requiring significant leg strength. He was fit, he was healthy, and he was dead for no reason anyone could find. Then in January 1949, months after his death, investigators found something hidden inside the dead man's trouser pocket. A small rolled piece of paper. The paper had been torn from a book. On it were two words printed in Persian, Tamam Shud. It is a phrase from a collection of 11th century Persian poetry called the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. It means finished or ended. It is the final line of the final verse of the book. It means it is over. Police tracked down the copy of the Rubaiyat from which the page had been torn. A man had found it thrown into his car in Adelaide weeks before the body was discovered. Inside the back cover of that book, investigators found something extraordinary. 5 lines of handwritten letters, apparently random, a code, written by someone, at some point, for some unknown purpose. Code breakers from around the world have been attempting to solve it ever since. In over 75 years, nobody has succeeded. There was also a phone number written in the book. It belonged to a woman living in Adelaide. She was contacted by police. She denied knowing who the man was. But investigators watching her reaction when shown the plaster cast of his face noted that she appeared deeply shaken. She went pale. She gripped the edge of the table. Then she composed herself and said she had never seen him before. She asked that her name never be made public. Until her death, she refused to discuss the case further. The woman had a son, a boy named Robin, who at the time of the man's death was around 1 year old. Robin had the same unusual calf muscle development noted in the autopsy of the unknown man. Robin also had the same extremely rare dental characteristic noted in the dead man's mouth, a specific formation of the teeth found in less than 1% of the population. Robin grew up. He never knew who his father was. He died in 2009. He never knew. In 2009, the woman finally agreed to be named publicly. Her name was Jo Thompson. She had worked as a nurse. She had lived in Adelaide for most of her life. She admitted before her death that she did recognize the man, but she refused to say who he was. She said there were things she could not talk about, things that had to remain private. She took whatever she knew to her grave. Theories have circulated for decades. He was a spy. The Cold War had just begun. The removal of all labels, the untraceable clothing, the unknown poison, the coded message from a book associated with themes of fate and death, the connection to a woman who refused to speak. Some investigators believe he was a Soviet agent. Some believe he was an American operative. Some believe he was a private man who simply chose to disappear and succeeded beyond his own intentions. The unknown man was buried in Adelaide in 1949. His grave simply reads, Here lies the unknown man. In 2021, South Australian authorities exhumed his body to extract DNA in the hope that modern genealogy techniques could finally identify him. The results were announced in 2023. Investigators identified a strong lead. A name was connected to the DNA profile, but the full identification has never been officially confirmed. As of today, his identity remains disputed. His grave still says unknown man. He was found on a beach in Australia on December 1, 1948. He was well dressed. He was healthy. He was dead for no reason anyone could prove. He carried a piece of paper that said it is over. He carried a coded message nobody has ever solved. He was connected to a woman who knew something and never told. He was buried as unknown, and in some ways, he still is.